Good evening, you're watching the QTV News at 7 p.m. The headlines. President Edgar Lungu says forgiving and being humble at heart are the attributes he remembers late President Michael Sata for. Opposition MMD faction leader Nevus Mumba says 23rd March 2017 still remains the scheduled date for his party's national convention. France's president has urged Britain to take its share of responsibility for migrant children who remain in Calais after the jungle camp was cleared. For the details, my name is Michelle Malunga. President Edgar Lungu says forgiving and being humble at heart are the attributes he remembers late President Michael Sata for. President Lungu says the other attributes he recalls described what sort of a man late President Sata was, including discipline in thought and in action and commitment to nationalism. In a statement on the day of late President Sata's second memorial, which fell on Friday, yesterday, the 28th of October, President Lungu also recalls that internationalism, non-racialism and non-sexism as the other attributes late President Sata should be remembered for. President Lungu further recalls that late President Sata also had the ability to give as well as take advice and draw strength from others. He states that late President Sata will thus remain a constant reminder not of what Zambia is, but of what Zambia should become. President Lungu says Zambia should become a country committed to pushing back the frontiers of poverty, illiteracy, disease, gender discrimination, and one that creates a better life for all. He says the late president thus remains a symbol of what a prosperous, free and democratic Zambia should be through his legacy of selflessness and humility. President Lungu states that in building on his vision, his administration will ensure it aggressively deals with the country's infrastructure deficit, diversify the economy, and create a better life for all people. The opposition UPND has challenged the PF government to assess itself whether or not it is still walking by late President Michael Sata's vision. The UPND is concerned that under the leadership of President Edgar Lungu, the PF government seems to have departed from the legacy of late President Sata. UPND Lusaka District Youth Wing Vice Secretary Otis Walia says his party has taken note that the ruling PF is in fact tearing apart the late president's legacy. Mr. Walia says his party vividly recalls how under the late President Sata, people's freedoms and press freedom was upheld. In an interview with QTV News, Mr. Walia says his party also remembers how late President Sata did not lose focus on ensuring that poverty in the country is reduced. Mr. Walia notes that this is, however, not what is happening under President Lungu's administration. He says his party has observed that besides people's freedom being allegedly infringed upon, the media in the country is also being allegedly harassed.
The people who've just come, they've taken over all these positions, and you think those who are there, who've been there all this time, they are happy? The answer is no. So we are telling you that it's just a matter of time. You see that these cracks in PF will be there for everyone to see. They will never hide. They will never hide this anymore. Okay, but the bottom line here is that let this leadership of Patriotic Front emulate the legacy of President Michael Sata. Because with that legacy, if President Michael Sata was alive today, this Zambia would not be where it is today. Today we can talk of corruption. Corruption is at the highest peak, and no one is tackling that. They are bringing in issues of tenure of office. For what? We have poverty in Zambia today, unemployment, cost of living. These are issues that we expected this government to be tackling. But because their primary aim is to fatten their pockets, their primary aim is to just draw from the government and eat. This is why they are bringing up all these issues. They've got no regard for the poor person that President Michael Sata had so much respect for. President Michael Sata respected the poor person on the street, respected the poor person in the market, he respected the farmer there in the villages who needs fertilizer today. Does this government have a plan for such a person today? The answer is no. So we want to urge them. We want to urge them that let them take a leaf from our late President Michael Sata. It's never too late. If they are serious, they can get back on track. But we really doubt if at all they have the capacity to really emulate President Michael Sata. He's a leader that we shall never forget. He meant well for this country.
Opposition MMD faction leader Nevis Mumba says 23rd March 2017 still remains the scheduled date for his party's national convention. Dr. Mumba says to this effect, preparation to hold the convention will commence in November this year. In an interview with QTV News, Dr. Mumba says his party leadership will thus ensure that all party members across the country begin to prepare for the event. Dr. Mumba says this is because a lot will be done in this convention. He says in this convention the entire look of the MMD will be changed, and that after this convention never again will vultures and selfish people with money destabilize the former ruling party.
My National Executive Committee of close to 51 people is intact, and the National Convention is being scheduled for early next year. And that is really where we stand, and everything else is a fallacy. We have just looked at the dates now, and preparations will be underway as from November, and we will be getting ready to ensure that our membership across the country begins to prepare for that event. I think that there are many things we're going to do in that convention. We're going to change the entire look of our party to ensure that never again will vouchers and selfish people who, because they have so-called power and money, think they can destabilize any institutional organization. We'll make sure that that convention will emerge stronger, that convention will renew ourselves so that those aspects of MMD that made it unsellable because of the people that continue to assault it, we will leave that behind in order to recreate a new organization, a new party that will become current and represent the current needs of the Zambian people.
But National Executive Committee NEC of the Felix Mtati-led faction, Henry Mlenga, has challenged Dr. Mumba to state why he still insists that he is the MMD president. Mr. Mlenga has told QTV News in an interview that if Dr. Mumba wants to cling to the MMD, he should realize that he can only be an ordinary member. He says this is because there is now a new leader in the MMD, as evidenced by the records that are at the Registrar of Societies, which show new office bearers.
Why does Dr. Nevis Mumba continue to live with facts? If he has gone to join UPND and proudly thinks that UPND guarantees his stay into politics and actively participating in the national affairs of this country, why doesn't he claim Israel's position, unlike uttering disparaging remarks against the party of which he became president? I want to ably warn Dr. Mumba that the law will soon catch up with him. There was a warning which was issued by our able and hard-working Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Stephen Kapyengo MP, that those that would be masquerading as leaders of this great party will be dealt with according with the law. Because Registrar of Society is the wing of Home Affairs. So it should stop living in fool's paradise, Dr. Mumba, and come to terms with the realities.
We take a break. We'll be back after this.
Hatch your eggs the right way. Order the best and high-quality incubators today. Order today from Power Express, the distributors of Bledge incubators at very discounted prices, like a 96 capacity at only 3,000 kwacha, a 264 capacity at only 5,100 kwacha, a 528 capacity at only 7,200 kwacha, a 880 capacity at only 8,200 kwacha, a 1,056 capacity at only 11,200 kwacha. You can say Christmas came early. This is a gift from Bledge to all poultry farmers this summer breeding period. Bledge incubators, hatch your way.
Hello, you're watching Cube Business. This time around, we are at Oka Deco Office Furniture Store, Oka Trends. Here, you can get the very best of office furniture at very affordable prices. Now, these tables are executive, and I know that's definitely what's best for your office. Now, if you're looking to get yourself into the executive mood anywhere in your house, and I mean anywhere, Oka Deco is definitely the place to be for you. You can get to Oka Deco and get the very best of climbing material. If you're looking to get yourself a pedestal pan or maybe a tumbler holder, a paper holder, this is definitely the place to be. After a busy day at work, now the best thing that you can get home to is a luxurious bed. And this you can get at Oka Deco. You can get all these at very affordable prices and you will definitely enjoy your rest and be ready for the next day. Ladies love matching things, from matching clothes to matching curtains, but at Oka Deco you can get matching curtains regardless of what color your home is, because there's a wide variety of curtains regardless of what color your home is. You can get any type of curtain at Oka Deco.
Oka Deco, along Kafua Road.
No, I can't stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down.
We continue with the news. Former Finance Minister Alexander Musokotwane has bemoaned the poor reading culture in the country. Mr. Chikwanda says that he has observed that most Zambians do not read. He was speaking last night during the official launch of Fast Dreams, a book by entrepreneur and businessman Jacob Sikazwe last night. And Mr. Chikwanda says the Fast Dreams book is convenient because it talks about people's daily afflictions and how to overcome them. He thinks that Mr. Sikazwe, the author of the book, reads widely and that he is an intellect as evidenced by the authorities he has used and the flow of his writing.
Culture, I've said governments don't read well. Very poor reading culture. So I hope, if you read this book, one thing you realize that this man, the author, he reads very extensively. Because the authorities suggest that he reads very extensively. And even from the way he writes, the flow, the logical, chronological sequencing of it suggests the man is literate. You can only write the way judges done if they read. Most Zambians don't read.
And Mr. Sikazwe says he was inspired to write by the fact that life is a journey in which everyone starts from somewhere. He says in his lifetime he has realized that life has challenges but also provides a number of opportunities. Mr. Sikazwe says this is why he felt that he should share his thoughts in this book to the larger community to enable them reflect on their own life. He says Fast Dream is thus about obstacles that people can face in life.
I think life is a journey, and we all start from somewhere. In my life, I've gone through a number of things, challenges, opportunities, and I felt that it's important I share this with a larger community so that they too can be able to reflect on their own lives and be able to share with others. So the first dreams is about the obstacles that we face in life. And it starts with fear. Fear can dilapidate you. Fear can also make you strong, depending on how you position yourself. So I've gone through that, and I've explained how we can manage and handle, and also how they have impacted on my own life.
Former Eastern Province ruling PF chairperson Lamek Mangani has added his voice in praising the legacy of late President Michael Sata, whose second memorial was held yesterday. Mr. Mangani has recalled that in the many positions he held, from being a minister to being the head of state, late President Sata proved to be an innovative leader. In an interview with QTV News, Mr. Mangani, who is also former Home Affairs Minister, says late President Sata's initiatives are still being being appreciated now. Mr. Mangani says this is besides his creativity, which he says has left a lasting impression in all the ministries that he has worked. He says, as Republican president, what the late head of state has taught is that perseverance means a lot in politics. Mr. Mangani has recalled that in spite of the many times that he lost elections while in opposition, late President Sata never gave up on becoming Republican president.
Reflects on his work, even as an ordinary minister in various positions that he held. He did quite a lot of work. He created a lot of initiatives, because most people, when they have these positions, they always look at just following the procedures. But Sata decided to create other new procedures that can help the ministry grow. The initiatives he created at the Ministry of Health, he was not a doctor. Up to now, people are able to see the impact of what he did at the Ministry of Health. The creativity brought to the Ministry of Local Government. Up to now, people are able to see the importance of decentralization, what it means to have power to the people. And eventually, as president, he has taught us one thing, that perseverance means a lot in politics. He lost elections for a period of time, eventually became president, meaning that when you lose one election, second election, that does not mean the end of the world. And you don't have to fight and become disobedient. The best thing is go back to the drawing board, try to see where you went wrong, and correct those mistakes, and move on.
The Inspector General of Police, Kakoma Kanganja, has been challenged to give the nation an update on Mapenzi shooting inquiry. The opposition UPND wants to know what this inquiry has established in relation to killing of one of its members, Mapenzi, by suspected police officers in Lusaka's Chawama Township this year. UPND Lower Ward Information Chairperson Chisanka Mamudenda says given the fact that some time has passed since the inquiry was set up, the police should disclose what has been ascertained so far. Mr. Mudenda says he has challenged the police to prove that indeed such inquiries are set up in good faith and not for political reasons.
Inspector General of Police to tell us what result for the inquiries which was set for Chawama shooting and also for Woodlands brutalizing people. What has it yielded to people of Zambia? Then you continue cheating people that we have set inquiries. Inquiries for what? So I want to challenge them to come up open and tell us what they have found out. It is almost a year now. Nothing has happened. So these so-called we are instituting investigation. It doesn't work for people of Zambia. So we know what they are doing.
We'll be back after this break. Stay tuned.
It's in the juice. Just juice. Real juice.
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Oh, the sky comes falling down. There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do.
Discover new horizons and explore new destinations. Starting this September, Rwandair will connect you to Cotton from as low as 9,980 kwacha and to Abidjan for only 8,008 kwacha. Book now and enjoy a luxurious service coupled with unparalleled comfort. For more information, please call 0950-131-061 or 0968-345-259. Email sales.lusaka@rwandair.com or visit us at rwandair.com or contact your preferred travel agents. Terms and conditions apply.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
You're watching the QTV News. The opposition United National Independence Party, UNIP, says it agrees with those suggesting that Zambia is yet to see more difficult times. UNIP Secretary General Reverend Alfred Banda says what the country therefore needs to do is to quickly come up with interventions that will help it overcome the difficulties. He has advised this should start by government listening to what the various stakeholders are saying on how the country can get back on the right economic path. Reverend Banda says it is important for government to take time to listen to the people and think of how best it can implement the ideas from the people of Zambia. He says government should realize that these stakeholders are well-meaning Zambians who want the best for their country, and so government should not fear of being advised wrongly.
So it would be wrong for us as a nation to embrace policies which will put a lot of pressure and stress on our citizens. Already you are seeing price increases. This is due to these policies. We're yet to see more, difficult times ahead of us. As long as we embrace these policies and the conditions attached.
Former Church of God overseer John Mambo has questioned the logic behind Parliament's decision to pass the creation of 4 more ministries amidst the high cost of living in the country. Bishop Mambo says he finds it surprising that while the cost of living in the country is becoming unaffordable for majority Zambians, Parliament has opted to add another burden on the Treasury. He thinks that parliamentarians that supported the creation of the 4 new ministries should have had the people of Zambia in mind first and not themselves. Bishop Mambo is of the view that the resources which government will be now spending on running the newly created ministries could have helped to reduce poverty in the country. He does not think that government has enough resources to waste anyhow.
That those that work and surround the president are listening. Call for Indaba, all the political leaders, chair that meeting, start with a prayer and said, where did things go wrong? How can you help? We are not an island. Currently, Trump will receive intelligence briefings. So is Hillary the same, because all these people are government in waiting.
Africa Directions, in collaboration with Plan Zambia, has launched a 3-year project called Child and Youth Friendly Cities Project. Africa Directions Director Mark Chilongu explains that the project is aimed at realizing Sustainable Development Goal number 11 of making cities and human settlements resilient, safe and sustainable. He says the project will fight urban child poverty and exclusion by contributing to the development of child and youth friendly cities where children and young people enjoy their rights and actively shape their environment. Mr. Chilongu says Africa Directions is looking at strengthening young people's participation and influence decision-making affecting their environment. He says children and young people have the right to participate in decisions that affect them.
Grassroots civil society organizations are essential in taking citizens' interests forward with the authorities, creating communities with active citizens who can influence development initiatives in their own areas, private sector stakeholders and other power holders. A united and well-organized civil society can hold relevant authorities accountable. Why this project is so important to Africa Directions? As a youth organization, we believe that children and young people have a right to participating in decisions that affect them.
We take another break, don't go away.
Manzi, pure and natural, Manzi, you can have it anytime, anywhere, hey Manzi.
Welcome back. The Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA, has affirmed its commitment to achieving its 2020 vision of becoming the #1 accountancy professional body in the world. Head of ACCA Zambia, Mukaba Mukaba, says his association's mark is to have 1 million accountants who are ACCA qualified. Mr. Mukaba says that currently ACCA is also hitting 700,000 qualified accountants globally. He says out of these accountants, Zambia accounts for 1,700 qualified accountants, constituting almost 80% of the accountants in the country. Mr. Mukaba notes that this is besides the 900 students pursuing the profession at different institutions.
These partnerships, we facilitate graduates from the universities to undertake our professional program. As you may be aware, our program is benchmarked at a master's degree level, at the professional level, and at an academic degree level, at the skills level, the applied skills level.
Lusaka Mayor Wilson Kalumba has challenged Lusaka residents to effectively contribute to the new look and cleanliness of their city. Mr. Kalumba says there are so many challenges affecting the city, especially in the compounds, among them being sanitation, lack of water and lack of recreational facilities. He says people should not wait to see what the government would do for them, but also do something for the betterment of the city. Mr. Kalumba says government needs to tap into their expertise and innovation in ensuring that they both come up with ideas that are going to make Lusaka a child and youth-friendly city. He states that Lusaka being the country's capital city, it is important that everyone takes part in making it a city that befits being the country's capital city.
Population of 15.5 million, estimated at 15.5 million, and 2% of that are children. So you see that children are very important now and for our future, because you'll be the future leaders, you'll be the future workers, you'll be the future parents leading the younger ones at that time. So this is why it's very important that we take action to improve the lives of children, to ensure that they grow into useful adults.
Ruling PF youths in Lusaka say they miss late President Michael Sata for being a mentor he was to them. Mandevu constituency chairperson Joseph Tamba says most of the PF youths who have joined politics today would have not done it had it not been for late President Sata's motivation. Mr. Tamba says late President Sata provided for them a good example of how a politician, whether in opposition or in the ruling party, should conduct himself or herself. He has told QTV News in an interview that late President Sata also proved to be a leader of the people. Mr. Tamba says his prayer, therefore, is that the same spirit that God poured on late Republican President will be manifested among the current crop of politicians.
We are missing him a lot. When I say a lot, I'm speaking from my bottom of my heart, because without the late president, today we could have not been politicians. Now, because of him, a lot of people joined politics because of the late president. So what I'm saying is that truly he was a grand soldier for this country, and we will be missing him. And the only good part of it, he has left a legacy, which everyone, and in the history of Zambia, no youths who is going to forget about the late president. So what I'm saying is that he was a blessing to this country, because he saved this country in several portfolio, and then from there, even when he was discussing issues when we were in opposition, you can see that we have got a leader. So what I'm saying, we are missing him a lot, but nevertheless, there's nothing what we can do. We are just truly believe and trust God that since He's no longer, is no more in this on this earth, what we are wishing to God that let the same spirit which was upon Him be amongst ourselves, because he was putting interest of the country, not personal interest. So that's the kind of leadership we are looking for in this country, because it's not all about himself.
We take a recap of the local stories. President Edgar Lungu says forgiving and being humble at heart are the attributes he remembers late President Michael Sata for. Opposition MMD faction leader Nevis Mumba says 23rd March 2017 still remains the scheduled date for his party's national convention. In international news, France's president has urged Britain to take its share of responsibility for migrant children who remain in Calais after the jungle camp was cleared. Francois Hollande said 1,500 unaccompanied minors who were still in the port city would be taken to accommodation centres very shortly. Migrants fleeing war and poverty had used the sprawling jungle site as a staging post to try and reach the UK. The UK has so far agreed to take in about 250 of the children from there. The jungle has been seen as a key symbol of Europe's failure to deal with the worst migrant crisis since World War II. Thousands of people have rallied in Seoul demanding the resignation of South Korean President Park Geun-hye. The protest comes after Ms. Park ordered 10 of her senior advisors to quit after admitting she had allowed an old friend to edit political speeches. Choi Soon-chil, who holds no government job, is also suspected of meddling in policy making and exploiting her links with the president for financial gain. On Saturday, prosecutors raided the homes of several presidential aides. They seized computers and files belonging to the officials who are suspected of being Ms. Choi's accomplices. And on that note, we end the news. For these and more stories, be sure to log on to our website and be sure to join us for our next bulletin at 10 p.m. Good evening.